Alright guys, so we're back with the second episode of Sealed Play, and already you can probably tell something's off because there are loose cards here. That is because unfortunately, I did actually open 2 more products before the recording of this video. However, circumstances meant that the footage was unusable. Yeah, there's nothing really we can do. We didn't open too much though, so it's not the biggest loss in the world. And I think the opening we have prepared like off screen over there is like enough to make up for it, which I'm keeping like totally off screen just because I'm really excited for it. So, yeah. So what did we open that didn't exactly get captured? It wasn't very much actually. It was just a Rocket Revolt structure deck, just because we needed the fusion spells desperately to make Vortex that we pulled previously, and then we opened a Flames of Destruction Special Edition, which had some crazy pulls, but all of those pulls lost all of their value in the last month because of Dude, Rocket Revolt, just everything killed it. So yeah, we'll show some of those pulls right now, and then we just opened 5 packs of Pendulum Evolution. So right up at the top, we have the Zephyr Divine Strike, which is something that we could have used, but in all honesty, no, there's no space for a Zephyr engine in like either Pendulum Magicians or Odd Eyes. Enlightenment Paladin, which yeah, some of you guys probably noticed the synchro that is covered up by another card in the last opening. Yeah, that's my B, but we have a second one. And then we actually got 2 vortexes, which makes the full playset. Time Pendulum Graph, which is not a bad card, but it's like less relevant now that Orcus is out. And then this is one of the more bittersweet ones. So we got an ultra rare triple burst, which is something that we can't exactly use, but would have been absolutely insane just like a couple of weeks ago. Like before Rocky Revolt, this would have been like, what was it, like $30? That would have been crazy. But unfortunately, just yeah, we can still use it, but it's not great. And then we have Absolute Dragon, which is actually great for us because he's a great rank 7 in general. And with our next opening, we'll definitely get some rank 7s to use. Pendulum Call, which is one of the chase cards from Pendulum Evolution. I think it is actually the most valuable card in the set. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, this card's also insane. Just discard 1, add 2 Magicians. Star Pendulum Graph, again, just a crazy card. Dragon's Mirror, a terrible card, but we're probably going to run it just because we need fusion spells for Vortex. Harmonizing, we finally have our playset of Harmonizing. Chronograph, we have our playset of Chronograph. Time Star, he's weird, but he's pretty easy to go into with Harmonizing, and then, like, if we ever get Zark, we could theoretically Chronograph into him. So, or if we ever get Zark, we could help him boost Chronograph. Then, we got Tikubu, literally, like, I don't know when this video is going to go up, but for me, it was days after Dude dropped. Like, so bittersweet. This would have been $12, like, a month ago. But either way, we can probably still run it. Black Fang, he's alright. Purple Poison, alright. White Wing, alright. Zephyraxi, terrible scale, alright monster. Guiding Ariadne, she was great in Pepe, but not so great now. Purple Poisons. Rescue Hamster actually has some pretty cool stuff going on with him. I'll see if I can fit him in, but it just kind of depends. A Dharma Eye, terrible card. Mech Knight Abram, he's one of our promos, and we're actually missing a promo from the Expo opening just because one of my friends was there, and so he kind of just took it because he wanted it. And yeah, he's the one who drives me to locals every week, so I just kind of gave it to him. Cliff Fort Monolith, we have no use for him, and also Cliff Forts are kind of irrelevant these days. Amazing Pendulum, pretty bad. Unwavering Bond, terrible. A second copy of Unwavering Bond. Altergeist Manifestation, I mean, yeah, a lot of commons. And then, yeah, there's like nothing too interesting here. We did get a lot of Tindangles, which are an archetype that I particularly like, but like, yeah, there's nothing that we can really use. Like, yeah, it's just pretty mediocre stuff. And then I can't exactly show you guys what we got from Rocket Revolt just because I already opened those. But time for the main attraction. And so I'm actually super hyped for this just because I don't think I've ever actually seen another YouTuber open these before. But here we have every single Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 manga printed thus far. And what we're going to get from these aren't great cards by any stretch of the imagination, but I just thought it would be super cool because like I came by these at YCS. I picked up a few of them, but I actually already opened them, and I'll show you the cards in my binder first before we actually crack those open. But just to show that we already that hit my lights, but it's okay. But yeah, like we already opened some of them, so yeah, I couldn't use those cards again just because they were already unsealed. This is like literally days before I chose to start this adventure, so kind of bittersweet again. But these cards are dope, so I'm more than happy to open them. You'll recognize Clearwing Fast Dragon as well as the reprints from Dude. But yeah, let's crack these open and see what new tools we have to add to our toolbox. So I was like feeling these out just because I didn't want to repeat of the structure deck scenario. And you see, this is how you do plastic wrap. All right, we can actually open these by hand without scissors, just because yeah, they're not too tightly wrapped. And so our first card is Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon. He's one of two of the cards in the entire set that actually has a reprint, and because he was reprinted in Legendary Dragon decks, which we will be picking up regardless of what we end up playing, just because it has some insane cards in there. But Odd Eyes Phantom Dragon, he's a very mediocre card, but he looks so nice and ultra rare, and like I think this version is worth like $8, and like it's really weird, but like the Arc 5 manga and like their actual singles are worth almost the same amount. So you're essentially getting manga for free. So that's our first card. We'll probably run it just because it's another way to go into Vortex. But we'll see. Just because he has a weird like attack gain and then an even weirder burn effect. But yeah, like with Arc 5 they're having fun. They're having a good time, which is like what I like to see, and that's why I'm cracking these open. Just because I want to complete my set, and I think that's actually something I might set about doing, creating I don't know, some kind of like opening for every single manga, checking out all the promos. And so for the second one, we have Clearing Fast Dragon. He used to be about the same as Phantom Dragon, I think, and he's actually a pretty crazy card. The issue is he has a typing restriction right there. One tuner, one more non-tuner win monsters. So the win thing is a really big thing that screws us up, because the only win monster we actually main deck at the moment, at least, is what's her name? Oh, it's a Vortex Dragon. So the only way we could actually theoretically make Clearing is by Noble Dragoning a Vortex. I don't even think we have Noble Dragon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Clearing Fast Dragon is actually insane, and like at this point it might well be a Dragoonity card just because it's a win synchro that you can just make with the Destrudo or whatever. But he's absolutely crazy. It's just during either player's turn, target one face-up monster your opponent controls, negates effect, and drop its attack to 0. It's just ridiculous. I love the card, and I want to find some way to play it. And now we're on to Volume 3. Yeah, there's 6 of these. Oh yeah, this is the one that actually shipped with like a little hole in there. So like even though it's like not exactly great for the condition, I guess it's like, yeah, there's a scratch in there. If you can see that, if the light permits. Yeah, you can probably see that. There's like a little bit of a scratch in the book itself, which is like unfortunate, but it helped our opening slightly. And so this single actually has a very anomalous place among these singles, and he's caught in the book. There you go. Okay, because you don't want to damage this one in particular, because DD Destiny King 0 Laplace. All right. So everything else is like Clearing is like $2 now. Phantom's like $8. They're still like less than the actual manga. I don't know why, but this card's lowest listed price is $24. Oh no, he scuffed the edge because of the book. No, but his lowest listed price is actually $24. You heard that right. It is double the value of the manga it comes from. So yeah, maybe a smart investment for some of you. Yeah. And so now we're cracking open Volume 4, and this is where things start to actually get hazy for me, because I don't remember exactly what cards came from which volume at this point in time, because I know Phantom Dragon for sure. I knew Phantom Dragon, I knew Fast Dragon, but like here's where it starts to like not match with the cover card, because we do not actually get whatever Dark Rebellion card that is in this manga. I think it's some random, White Aura Bahamut. Yeah, we cannot make this because it requires a tuner synchro. I might actually want to... Oh, God. Let's see if this works. We might want to actually see if we can make this, just because it seems fun. But yeah, like it's just like a really cool card. I think that's also sitting at a pretty comfortable 8 on TCG Player. Like these cards are pretty valuable and they're just so cool, which is why I really want to open this, like these for the series, because like you've seen like maybe 2 playable cards for us, and like, you know, Fast Dragon's a very hard maybe just because we can probably not make it. But yeah, it's just like it's not the best opening for Seal Play. I just really want to check these out just because these cards are dope. And so Phantasma Dragon is also one of the higher value ones chilling in the manga, and he is at a good $12 just because it's the only printing of Phantasma Dragon, and he's a pretty solid card because you can discard 1 card to add 1 Dragon Pendulum from your extra deck to your hand, which just means you don't have to face the extra Monster Zone restriction as much. And then also Phantasma's effect. When he swings, he reduces your opponent's monster's attack by 1,000 times the number of face-up cards you have in your or in your extra deck. So that's just like that can theoretically beat over lightning. Like it's pretty cool, and his art's pretty dope. It's just all around a pretty cool card. Like all of these are just awesome. Well, I don't really know what to say. They're just all insanely dope. And now, time for the big one, right? So this is the one I actually have not seen, because before, like if you look in the manga or in the binder, there was only 5 manga promo cards, and that's because when I was at YCS, I only purchased the first 5 volumes, and just so you know, I'm not actually keeping double sets of the first 5 volumes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 because that's stupid, and I don't want to appear like a sociopath. But so I donated those to my school's library. But yeah, those are the first 5 volumes. But volume 6 is where things get very, very spicy. Here we have Time Lord Progenitor, Vorpgate. Now, if you take a look at this card, he's a, if I'm not mistaken, level 10. Let me just count that real quick. Yeah, level 10 Synchro, who is 100% generic, and is he's also one of the, I think he's $8 right now, but he is just wonderful because his effect is that when he attacks, he banishes all cards from your opponent's field that's non-targeting, non-destruction removal in the battle phase. And so, you know, you swing, he can't be Veilered because, you know, it's the battle phase. So you swing, banish everything. And so the clause that's supposed to counteract this is once per turn during the end phase, if this card's effect is activated, you can special summon as many monsters as possible that you banish with the card's effect to your opponent's field. However, that says during the end phase, it's a once per turn. So even though it's a mandatory once per turn, it's in the end phase, which means you can take Harmonizing, special any level 6 Magician, which is why we needed, I think it was Oath Dragon, but you can special summon any Magician, synchro into Time Lord, swing with Time Lord, banish your opponent's entire field, link it off, and they don't get anything back. And you wasted next to nothing of resources because you just need a 1 card to make that. So, yeah, there's some serious spice going on now. And let's see what we can do with these 6 cards. I know they're not like the most practical opening, and sadly, due to new financial restrictions, we actually won't be able to do any cool openings like this for a minute, just because my budget has suddenly just plummeted. And so we'll be doing the best with our resources that we have, and I'll trying to like keep openings at least like once a month, but I can't really guarantee anything. However, I just really wanted to do this opening for y'all because I think that these manga promos go really underlooked, and then I also think that this manga and Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 as a whole doesn't get enough love because the anime was such a blast. Like, it started off so strong. The ending was terrible, but it started off so strong, and then the manga's also a pretty good time. So that's just like, you know, I kind of wanted to bring more exposure to this while also getting a couple cards that we can't really get anywhere else, and that, you know, can be sort of a flex, especially when you pull out the Time Lord, white board, link off, and then your opponent just doesn't know what happened because they've never seen this card in their life. Alright? So, I'll hit y'all with the deck profile after this, and then, I'll catch y'all at locals. Alright guys, we're back from locals, and I got a very brutal reminder that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is in fact a game of luck. Like, we got really lucky the first week, not so lucky this week. Alright, so before that, deck profile time. So for our side deck, we actually do have one this time, because, you know, the 3 Expo, you know, like Pendulum Evolution, you know, all those openings, like, they give us a lot of stuff to work with. So our side deck is actually only 3 cards, though, because we only have the 310 Pendulum Graphs, and so on the surface, these are pretty bad cards, just because it's like a 1-for-1 trade, and it's a continuous trap, so it's really slow. But at the same time, like, I was using this to out Orcus, but unfortunately my locals isn't very meta, so we didn't actually see any like Orcus at all to use this against, and so it just kind of languished inside. Then we have our 9 Hippo tokens. And after those monstrosities, we have our extra deck. So we put in Code Talker, Topologic Zero Boros. We never actually got him out, but you know, he's there, he's chilling. He's not a very good card. He's just there to round out the numbers. Time Lord Progenitor Vorpgate. So we just ran this guy because, you know, we opened all those manga. I figured we could use him because it's really hard to do. But if you harmonizing and have 2 Time Gazers, you can actually make him. And then, you know, he's kind of like a soft lock. He's pretty easy to out, but again, a fun time. Behind him we have Warlord, so it looks like this is a little out of order. That's my B. But yeah, Borlode, really good generic link, and so, you know, of course, he's, you know, gonna be in there. And then we have 3 copies of Vortex Dragon. This kind of got me salty. This could have been any other card, but we have a playset of a card that we actually didn't get it out once, which is really upsetting because that is our boss monster. So, yeah, not fun. We did not see, actually, correction, we saw a fusion spell one time, and that was in a hand exclusively filled with fusion spells. We also have Borlode Furious, just because since it takes Dark Dragons, we can actually make it with the Odd Eyes. Enlightenment Paladin, he's just a free synchro off of harmonizing, so we played him at 2. Clearwing Fast Dragon, we played this as a one-off. There's actually only one way to make it in this deck, and actually, I totally forgot, which is something that happened a lot for this deck profile, because like I guess I just wasn't thinking straight when I made this deck. But we actually don't have the card required to make it, because the only way we could make it is it requires a wind attribute. So we need Vortex Dragon, and theoretically if we used Noble Dragon, it would reduce Vortex to level 4 and then tune it into a level 7 for Clearwing. But we actually don't have Noble Dragon, so we couldn't do that. Yeah, there's a lot of mistakes. Time Star Magician, not a particularly good card, but it's pretty easily accessible. And if we ever try to do Zark Turbo, which would basically mean that we get a 2018 Megaton and then get pretty unlucky with the pulls, we could actually use him because he sends directly to the grave. So that's pretty useful, actually, if we try to do that. Absolute Dragon, of course. Why wouldn't I? And then 2 copies of Triple Burst. One's a Beautiful Ultra, one's the Colin from Rocket Revolt. And again, like, I swear I just organized everything, but it's okay. But yeah, Triple Burst actually came up once. We managed to negate something, but yeah, that's about it. We kept we put in Divine Serpent Gay just because it's generic, and then it's a pretty good wall and can out a lot of the meta stuff just because, like, not a lot of people are playing anything revolving around battle or negating during battle. And then negating Divine Serpent isn't the biggest deal in the world because we put next to no resources in. Phantasma Dragon was a mistake. Actually, correction, he wasn't a mistake. He's just a really weird card. So he is actually generic scale 0. He doesn't require anything else to be in the other scale to work as a scale 0. So that's like one big plus. And then another thing is you can discard a card to just add a dragon from your extra deck to your hand. So again, just a solid card, but we never actually got him off just because we actually didn't pendulum summon all 4 rounds, which is ridiculous. But we just never had a usable scale. We had 2 copies of Pendulum Dragon and 1 copy of Phantom Dragon. They're literally all just there for Vortex Dragon. Like, there's no other reason they're there. We actually tribute summoned Pendulum Dragon once, but that's it. Chronograph is at 3, and so yeah, he's just our way to get into like a free special summon with Time Gazer. He's also a pretty solid scale, and then if we ever go Dark Turbo, he is the one card that makes Dark Turbo possible. So yeah, he's there. I actually want to cut Stargazer as soon as possible, because even though it's a scale 1, the issue with Stargazer is that it requires another magician, and yeah, he's just like, he can basically screw you over, because Sorcerer is actually not a magician, and neither are any of these like literally anything else. So it requires very specifically magicians, and so of those we only have like a few possible partners to go with Stargazer. And so I actually want to drop him as soon as possible, especially because neither his Pendulum Effect or like Monster Effect are particularly usable. And his stat line is terrible, especially because he's level 5 and he's like one of our only level 5s. Drummerilla is better than Stargazer just because he works as a generic scale, and then he has the 600 attack boost, which again just came in relevant. Like, I'm ashamed to admit it, but it just did help us out a lot. Or I would say a lot, except we only won one match. And then he got Wisdom Eye, which was a yeah, he's just a searcher for all the magicians. Yeah, so he's like for sure in there. I'd bump him up if we had more copies, but we don't. And we're playing 3 copies of Harmonizing because she lets us get into all of our extra deck. Like, she is the extra deck engine, just because she's an insane card, and like, you know, it's the only way we can actually get an additional summon off the Pendulum Summon. So again, she's just a for sure 3 off, and I'm really happy that we managed to actually pull 3 copies, especially because she's an ultra rare. So yeah, that's nice. I tossed in Rescue Hamster. I did actually get him off once, but yeah, he's not a great card, but he's something like, we'll call him our spice for the deck profile. But yeah, he wasn't like particularly bad. Dragon Pulse, again, it's just kind of generic scale, and then it's theoretically removal if you do have another magician, which I did not ever have, which was again brutal. So I ended up using him more for his 1800 special normal summon, and so yeah. Purple Poison and Black Fang. These are kind of just scale, like, we're just using them as scales and like enablers for plays with Harmonizing, because if I use one, then I can use the other later. And it's just like they're meant to work with Harmonizing. Time Gazer is in here because we're running Chronograph and Harmonizing. So again, he just enables stuff to go through. I might actually take him to 3 and Stargazer to 1, just because he's more usable, because he has a lot more actual, like, potential. Archfiend Eccentric is still at 3 because it's our recycling removal, and like that is just the best thing we can have, because like, no matter how low we are on resources, this is a free removal. Like, it's just crazy. And like, I like bashed this card early on just because I'm stupid. I didn't think about how how it is a pendulum monster, which actually makes it like a very good card. All right. So if any of you have been paying like just above average attention, you'll see what's wrong here. We don't actually have any targets for Summoner's Art. And this is the other mistake I alluded to earlier with the whole like misordering thing. But yeah, that was entirely my fault, and like, I could have lived with it if it like appeared at a normal rate, but we actually drew this in every single one of our hands. I don't know how, but in 8 hands, we drew Summoner's Art 8 times, and it was an entirely unusable card. We have 1 discard in the entire deck, and we saw him 3 times. Yeah, that's one of my worst mistakes. Next we have Book of Moon at 1, just because it helps me deal with XEs, and then it's like sometimes good enough just like put something in defense, I can beat over it, and that it can't activate its effects while it's on the field. So yeah, Book of Moon, not bad. Poly and Rapid Trigger, they're just there to let us get into the Vortex and or Boral Furious Dragon, or Borreload Furious Dragon, because Boral Furious is something else entirely. But yeah, Rapid Triggers, I think I've said this before, it's a pretty underrated card. I think that has a lot of potential, just because it gives so much protection. Like, it just protects everything from the extra deck. So like Dingirsu and stuff, like, can't remove your card, and so that's just insane. Cosmic Cyclone, Spell and Trap removal. Twisters, MSTs. Again, just more spell and trap removal. Like, that's kind of our big enemy because we cannot deal with something like an anti-spell, so we need quick play spell removal. Next, we have Time Pendulum Graph, or Star Pendulum Graph. Time Pendulum Graph's that one. But Star Pendulum Graph is, again, just an insane card because if we like harmonizing into something, then we like synchro or link those off, that just gives us a free search. And so that's just like a straight plus, and that's absolutely crazy. Pendulum Call, again, an insane card. Just discard 1, add 2 Magicians. So yeah, we're going to try to bump this up as soon as possible. We've only pulled 1 copy thus far. Next came Tikaboo. This is probably our best option against literally any meta strategy. And we saw it a good few times, but the thing is, every time I saw it, again, I just had no possible scales to use it with. So like it was just kind of chilling there, and yeah, not a good time, but still a great card. I'm happy that we pulled it. I just wish we pulled it earlier, so I feel like we could have more value. 3 Dark Bribes, just because it's one of our only negates. In like, you know, there's like Vortex and Dark Bribes, so that's about it. And so, how did we do? So, we went 1-3. First round, we went up against pure Tenyis, and they stomped us because Tenyis are, I would say, rogue, maybe tier 2 if they get like, if people just like find new spicy options. You know, I think it needs more time to develop, need more time to cook in the oven, you know. But Tenyis are pretty solid, and we didn't really stand much of a chance, especially because we actually could not pendulum summon once against him. But he's also relatively new to the game, which probably which was probably what made our game go like I think 30 minutes overall, even though he won both rounds, just because he you know, like he had like little mistakes, where it was like he like thought like banishing on activation like negated, you know, or stuff like that. But he picked everything up pretty well when I explained like little rulings like that to him, and so overall he was like a pretty cool guy. And yeah, everything was nice that round. Round 2, we went up against Blue Eyes, and he was actually just like an older brother that a little kid roped into dueling, so his deck was like outdated and everything. But again, we had no usable scales, but we managed to weasel out with just like, as I said earlier, managed to weasel out because we Dragon Pulsed and he bricked, and so we just kind of whacked at him for one game, and another game I Tikabooed, and then like I think I had some kind of wall up somehow. I think I chronographed and then like made some kind of play, and so we managed to just get over him, and that was our one win. It was a pretty slow paced match, but that's just how it kind of went. Then game 3, I'm trying to remember what we went against. Actually, I totally forgot. Oh yeah, it was okay. The reason I forgot wasn't because like it was like, you know, like an unmemorable experience. It's just because we didn't actually see more than one of their cards during either game. So yeah, this is probably the worst game that we had because it was against Cyber Dragons. And so, Cyber Dragons aren't a particularly degenerate deck or anything, but I drew a hand composed entirely of spells for 2 games in a row. So what would happen was I just set 5, they power bond into Cyber Twin Dragon, and I'm dead. And that happened twice. And so I just totally forgot what they were playing just because I didn't see anything. Like, it was literally over in 3 minutes. That was awful. Really not loving this deck right now. And then game 4, we went up against Cubics. And so, like, again, like, this is like a kind of really big reminder that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is sometimes just decided by luck. Because this guy, he had previously been like, he was like undefeated for the last like 2 weeks running. And so, like, you know, like this guy, like, he's piloting Cubics insanely well. And, you know, he's like a really good player. But he was chilling there at the back tables with me because he went 2-1. And, or sorry, 1-2. And so, yeah, he just got really bad luck, and he had to deal with that. But then in our round, we had nothing to out Cubics. We didn't actually get any usable scales. They just OTK'd us. Like, end of story. That's kind of what happened with everything at locals. And I'm not going to lie. I know our deck is, like, better and like I'm 100% certain in saying like I built this deck relatively well with the cards I had, but yeah, that was just a brutal week. And next week I won't actually be able to go to locals because I have something coming up that weekend. So I will post a video. It's just that, and it'll still be Seal Play related, but it won't actually be like locals, and there won't be an opening. However, the week after that, we will have by far the biggest power up, and yeah, that's just like gonna be the game plan. I'm thinking of starting like maybe MTG Arena series just to give y'all something else to watch, because I feel like having once a week sealed play only or sealed only videos is kind of stale. So I think I'll probably start throwing in some MTG Arena videos just because I'm just starting to get into Magic, and so I want y'all to go on that trip with me. But yeah, I'll catch y'all next week. There'll still be a Steel Play video, but it just won't be like proper opening, proper tournament recap and stuff. Alright, catch y'all later.